put the lights at the right height.
That's where I went in.
I thought you moved them.
Every summer they have a whale poetry contest in Wales to choose from Bard of Wales. I mean, this
wrapped up in Several comes for you.
Simple.
That is simple. A young, a very young Conrad, you know, the deep voice guy.
Oh my God, I'm being filmed.
James Christian just took the van.
I'm going to have to start screaming now because I do not have walkie-talkie.
That's what you're going to do. George?
Pan slowly up from him to George. Look at that face.
Yes.
Hi, Walter. You know, but they don't take the picture.
Signatures of all the musicians.
You didn't.
No, I didn't.
Great.
Actually, I did sell some bogus Paul Simon.
Not being fed at all. Oh, how nice.
We're going to try to do something like this. I know about another one.
Hey, I'm not pushy. I just hope you get Be sure to get the hat in case they have some free tickets. Boy, that one American.
Clicking the trigger, right?
Thanks for having us. Thanks for having us. Great. Any lines? Haven't got any lines. Anyway, the clothes are coming up.
Yeah, I actually had an hour around. He's a very good friend.
He had the best fireworks display here. Marion is.
Did he have the root cheese?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God, from Maine. That is wonderful.
Well, I was coming down New York, and I thought this would be fun. Well, I sail, of course, when I'm here, but I never sail coast.
Come on.
Where are you? In there.
I'm here. I'm here.
You're going to see right through?
I can see right through you.
What would you like? 40 years, I suppose you're sort of. Well, my clothes are arriving for
No?
Fresh out of breath.
I wasn't, you know, can I tell you something? I was on Central Park West.
Well, everyone's been told the opposite.
What can you say about George?
Well, he's a role model for my fountain of age. He's an innovative, adventurous man, and I wrote in the book to give him good wishes to evolve and keep on enjoying.
Do I have to say anything to George?
Something nice to George.
Oh, George, you know, George, that you like it infinitely better at the vineyard. And I hope that we'll see you both in July and next August. You and Sarah most of all. And please bring Ernie.
I'm Jerry Preston. I'm doing this with George.
With George, we're all doing this with George. All here for George. Hello, George. Thank you for sending the longest limousine. Never disappoint.
Hey, George, how you doing? Remember the night I humiliated you with the trapeze? Now you embarrassed my audience. Your opening joke was the two bald guys who put their heads together made an ass of themselves. Remember that?
What do you got to say to George?
Well, I remember the excitement when when the Paris Review first started back in the 50s. And every aspiring writer was following the Paris Review to see who was hot, and they're still doing it, so it's great stuff.
How you doing, Miss Bodigan? I met you before. She told you my secret.
You're staying with her?
It's just for George.
Who the hell is she?
It's just for George.
What have you got to say to George?
Happy birthday, George. How old is he anyway? Or is it? It's not his birthday, is it?
Paris Review birthday.
I've got anything to say to George.
of George Plimpton. I knew George Plimpton. George Plimpton is a friend of mine. So are you. Hi, George. Happy Paris Review birthday. Keep the literature coming.
Almost introducing it.
Vive la France. God bless you. As Bogart says, we'll always have Paris, right?
Anything rude that you would like to George on this occasion?
Rude?
Yes, it could be, or loving. It could be
I've
loving.
never learned the art of giving a negative blessing in the course of a celebration. That's enough.
George Mitchell? No, not George Mitchell. George Polk? He's a famous man, George Polk. Oh, just George. And you're staying with Linda? Oh, my deepest sympathies. It's too early for me to say anything about myself at this particular point. Well, this particular evening, I'm extremely reticent. I don't want to say anything about myself until tomorrow. Well, I declare for office. Yes, these are getting big around here. Will you run with me? Absolutely. There we are.
My name is James Lipton, and Dick and I are going to lead you through this Paris review. We didn't misspell it. We meant what we said, and here we go.
The Paris Review was founded in '53. Can you believe that? By Peter Matheson and Doc Humes, who enlisted as its first editor George Plimpton, a recent graduate of King's College, Cambridge, former editor of the Harvard Lampoon, and incidentally, it isn't part of James' splendid prose here, but it's a wonderful tribute, the fact that he had to turn away practically a who's who of America tonight who wanted tickets for this.
The minute he walked in the joint, we could see he was a man of distinction, a real deep thinker, upstanding, so refined. Hey, wouldn't you like to know what's going on in his mind? Well, let me get right to the point. He is not a raving fan of Danielle Steele. Hey, George Plimpton, how does being brilliant feel? Cut, worthy poet, please. Slash, 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 ask yourself as you play it, how would Hemingway say it? Dear George, with all of your friends gathered here, we can say without the least hesitation, we're glad to know you. Spasibo, thanks, merci. Your friendship is every single thing a friendship should be. So let us get right to the point. Here's to all the 20,000 things you do. Hey, George Plimpton. Hey, George Plimpton. Say George Plimpton. Say George Plimpton. Hey, George Plimpton. Hey, George Plimpton. L-O-V-E-Y-O-U. Coleman wrote that. What's the music? I wrote the words.
I'm not sure I can get away with this. It's by Paul West, and it's the story of Moby Dick by Moby Dick himself. It's called Captain Ahab, a novel by the White Whale from the Paris Review, winter 1957.
He went to Paris looking for answers to questions that bothered him so. He was impressive, young and aggressive, saving the world on his own. With the warm summer breezes, the French wines and cheeses, put his ambition at bay. Summers and winters scattered like splinters, and 4 or 5 years slipped away.
Greetings from your small, obscure, humble, but still valiantly proud sister island of Martha's Vineyard.
Playing a waltz of his own composition, Mr. George Plimpton.
I only play this about once a year.
I'm having a problem. Help me end this pretty melody. George, by George, by George, everybody please. By George, by George, by George, by George. Once again, please. By George, by George, by George, by George, by George.
From the Paris Review, Writers at Work in the spring of 1964. Well, what can ruin a first-rate writer? Not on his eyeglasses. Among other things.
Faulkner once said that nothing can injure a man's writing if he's a first-rate writer. And I was angry at Faulkner that year because he had said something mean about me in passing. And so I said, Faulkner said more asinine things than any other major American writer. I can't remember a single interesting remark Faulkner ever made.
Nor, as far as I can tell, can you remember where the hell you are in the script. But because I know Mike Wallace for many years, let me be persistent. What can ruin a first-rate writer?
Could we bring on Mike Wallace?
Well, I remember that piece, too. You threatened to hit him in the belly because you thought his face was too ugly, but you made up after 10 years, so that's okay.
Jennings, I'll help you. Faulkner once called Henry James a nice old lady. And that got me so mad, since I was still mad at him anyway, That I said Faulkner had a mean, small southern streak in him, and most of his pronunciamentos reflect that meanness. He's a great writer, but he's not at all interesting in most of his passing remarks.
Well, you clearly have this continuing determination to fuck up journalists. So let me ask you this.
I'm a little deaf. Did you say I had a determination to fuck up?
Well, I wasn't sure that you were directionally oriented, but what kind of an audience do you keep in mind when you write?
You're cutting to the end, the last line.
No, I'm cutting to the beginning, for Christ's sake.
You've been a big help, but I see why...
Fine, thank you.
I see why all the people you interview are so happy.
I was thinking a while ago that it might be worthy, given what we have before us, that you should run for mayor of New York again. I'm changing my mind.
That's the foulest thing you've ever said.
Norman, you have to tell us what it was you said in 1964 about what it was that can ruin a first-rate writer. In case you've forgotten.
Here we are. Okay. I'm finally in your debt, Peter. What thing can ruin a first-rate writer? Well, I'll tell you. Booze. Pot. Too much sex. Too much failure in one's private life. Too much attrition. Too much recognition. Too little recognition. Frustration. Nearly everything in the scheme of things works to dull a first-rate talent. But the worst problem is cowardice. As one gets older, one becomes aware of one's cowardice. The desire to be bold, which once was a joy, gets heavy with caution and duty. And finally, there's apathy. About the time it doesn't seem to be important anymore to be a great writer, you know you've slipped far enough to be doing your work now on the comeback trail.
Norman, neither you nor the review have ever shown apathy. Thank you.
You have to follow that.
A little dignity, a little dignity, a little class.
Yeah.
Ernie. Interview with Gertrude Stein, published in the Paris Review in the fall of 1990. Miss Stein, will you explain the passage from Four Saints in Three Acts about the pigeons on the grass, which begins, pigeons on the grass, alas, pigeons on the grass, alas, short, longer grass, short, longer, longer, shorter, yellow grass, and ends up Lily, 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 let Lily, Lucy, Lucy, let Lily, let Lucy, Lily.
That is simple. I was walking in the gardens of the Luxembourg in Paris. It was the end of summer. The grass was yellow. I was sorry that it was the end of summer, and I saw the big fat pigeons in the yellow grass, and I said to myself, pigeons on the yellow grass, alas. And I kept on writing, pigeons on the grass, alas, short, longer grass, short, longer, longer, shorter, yellow grass, pigeons, large pigeons on the shorter, longer, yellow grass. Alas, pigeons on the grass. And I kept on writing until I had emptied myself of the emotion. If a mother is full of her emotion for a child in the bath, the mother will talk and talk and talk until the emotion is over. And that's the way a writer is about an emotion.
But of course.
we realized that no tribute to Paris would be complete without a can-can, and so here they are, fresh from 20 minutes of rehearsal.
10.
In the daring, and we mean daring, the choreography of the incomparable Pat Burt, or forgive me, Patricia Burt, Jay McInerney, Peter Moss, Christopher Cerf, Jeffrey Eugenides, Jim Salter, Harry Hurt, and Tama Janowitz.
How did she get in there?
You don't mean how, but why?
Ladies and gentlemen, the Paris Review can't.
Can.
Want to bet? For this clearly special occasion, great American sculptor George M. Kelly has created a work of art. You may know Mr. Kelly's work from his bust of George Balanchine at Lincoln Center. And here to tell you about Mr. Kelly's latest work is one of George's most devoted fans.
And Lily Duke for inviting Barbara and me to be at what I know is a very prestigious gathering. In spite of the fact that you're honoring George Plimpton, it's got to be a prestigious gathering because of the way the Dukes do things. I want to salute Paris Review, and in my one serious moment, I want to say that George did something wise when he was one of the founders of all of that, and I wish everybody interested in that publication the very, very best. I've been asked for a little anecdotal material on George Plimpton. I have not much to add to what I'm sure has already been said, except this guy is one of the truly great competitors. We took him on in Tiddlywinks. I think we whipped him there. Horseshoes was a closer encounter of the weirdest kind. And I remember out in the Vice President's house when Plimpton, rather arrogantly I felt, because his credentials had not been well established in horseshoes, challenged the Bush family. And Marvin and I did him in, admittedly having to throw a ringer at the very last minute to put him down. He somehow called on all the great Plimpton resources and was snuffed out. I think it was 21-20 in the third game. But in any event, we commend him, not for his skill, but for his tenacity. I played tennis with him. He beat up on his own kid in order to try to prevail when we had him up at Camp David playing a little tennis. This man will stop at nothing. And so I am pleased and honored to have been invited to say a few words about him. We love the guy, but he has these peculiar quirks. He walks around in jungles looking for weird birds, and I've never really understood that. My sister does, though, and she says to be kinder and gentler because the guy's a good conservationist, and I know that I have some credentials there that have been severely, and I think rather dishonorably, questioned. But, good luck in the jungles, George. Good luck on the horseshoe pit. Good luck on the tennis court. Improve your tiddlywinks, and you'll find as you get a little older, we're about the same, I guess, that there's a wonderful private life out there after a public life. You're not there yet. I am, and Barbara and I might add, are very, very happy. And now, it's been suggested that I unveil George. I don't think that's a nice thing to do out there on Long Island, but in any event, the moment's at hand, and I salute him as we take a look at how others, a very marvelous sculptor, sees him. So whoever's in charge there, let's get on.
Finally, it's your turn. Let's hear it for George, for God's sake.
You know, when I went to interview Ernest Hemingway in Havana, his favorite place was a bar called the Floridita. It was a very dark bar, and when you opened up the door to come in from the bright Havana streets, it was almost blinding.
And Hemingway used to sit underneath a bronze bust of Hemingway, so that when you came into the bar, you saw these two Hemingways, one above the other. I never thought in my life that I would be in a similar situation. George Kelly did this sculpture. I believe it, yes, there he is, me. And it was a pleasure that he worked on it. We spent many hours. He's a marvelous sculptor, as you can see, and a great conversationalist. It's been one of the great moments of this summer to have that. And this is a memento. I have no idea what's going to be done with it. I suppose it ought to be in a museum. And I hope from time to time to go and sit next to it. Thank you very much.